What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another War Thunder video. Today we're taking a look at the Mitsubishi J2M2 Raiden, otherwise known as the Jack by the Allies. The J2M2 was just recently added in the 1.49, or rather the 1.70.1945.30 patch. And I have to say that I'm really enjoying this plane. Just so you guys know, this is fully maxed out, fully upgraded. I did all of my upgrading in arcade because that's where you can get the most RP or research points per minute. In realistic, it's a lot slower. When I first started upgrading the J2M2, I thought this was going to be exactly... Hey, who needs a flap? I thought this was exactly going to be like the J2M3 minus some 20mm cannons and less ammunition. However, having flown it, there is definitely a performance difference in the J2M2 and the J2M3. The biggest difference of which is the climb rate, and I'm going to get into that in just a minute or two. The J2M2 is an energy fighter, just like the J2M3. It's an energy fighter and boom zoomer. You don't want to use this as a turn fighter. This makes for a really interesting complement for the Japanese teams, because you can use the A6M2s and 3s as turn fighters, while the J2M2 forces all the high flyers down. And the Zeros will mop up whatever enemy fighters happen to be down there turn fighting. With a battering of 3.3, the J2M2 is going to be going up against a lot of early planes. I got down-tiered more often than I got up-tiered, strangely enough. So most of the fighters that I went up against were Kitty Hawks, P-36 Hawks, even Buffaloes. Yeah, Buffaloes against the J2M2 is not a fair fight. The plane is definitely under-tiered at 3.3. I would argue 3.7 or 4.0 would probably be a better option. The only planes that I found gave me problems were other planes that were also slightly under-tiered, if I'm going to be honest. That being the Thunderbolt and the Lightning, both of which are in the American territory and are very, very good. The J2M2 was a bomber interceptor, and you can see Wellington, it just doesn't stand a chance. Poor Wellington, I'm sorry, man. Until War Thunder properly introduces the geodesic airframe for the Wellington, I don't think we're going to see Wellington survive very long against the J2M2. You really don't even need cannons to take down a Wellington. You take them down with machine guns, quite frankly. Now, getting back to the difference between the J2M2 and J2M3, this is a climb test that I performed with the test mode. Both planes are fully upgraded, and you can see the J2M2 time is on the left and the J2M3 is on the right. And you can see a clear difference in performance. At low altitude, the J2M2 performs quite well. However, as it climbs, it loses speed continuously. After 4 kilometers, you'll get to the point where you won't be able to maintain a 20-degree climb. You'll have to dip your nose down to about 10 or 15 degrees in order to pick up some additional speed, and then you can pick up to a 20-degree climb and take off from there. I never was able to get the J2M2 up to 6 kilometers because I ran out of map on the test flight, so that test is incomplete. But as you can see from the J2M3, it just climbs so effortlessly. The J2M3 it's an amazing climber. Even at 6 kilometers, I wasn't able to get it below 300 kilometers an hour. It's a far cry from the J2M2. It just doesn't have the kind of power that the J2M3 currently does. That being said, the J2M2 is still a very, very good plane. I don't want you guys to get the wrong impression about this plane. Now, as far as armament goes, this was the biggest question that I had, was whether or not I could use 200 rounds and do anything with it. Japanese guns tend to get a bad rap among War Thunder players because of the slow velocity. However, at this tier, 3.3, you really don't need a large amount of ammunition. As you're about to see here with our first engagement against this P-39 Air Cobra, he just didn't have the energy to come up and get me. I'm just gonna come on down, put a couple of rounds into him. I would have finished him off pretty quickly if I had led a little bit more. That's part of the... Well, that's just part of the issue with Japanese cannons. You have to lead a little bit more than you would with some other aircraft. That Air Cobra does eventually go down, so I'm going to set my sights on that Spitfire as he's managed to climb all the way up here and give us a bit of a threat, a potential threat, that is. He crit my teammate, so I'm going to have to come over here and return the favor. The air cobra goes down. Spitfire comes in. We're going to go head on. You don't need 420mm cannons to go head on with a Spitfire, as you can see here. Put a couple of shots to him and the Spitfire goes down. Easy peasy. Now let's go find us another target. You see, I started out with 200 rounds of cannon. Killed 2 planes. I'm only down 52 rounds. That's not too bad. P-36 Hawk comes in. Like I said, lots of low-tier planes when you fly the J2M2. Try to stall him out. Come on, bro. It's almost unfair. It honestly is. It's yeah, this thing is definitely under-tiered, I'm not gonna lie. Yeah, split S. He's waiting for it. Yep, drop. Another one bites the dust. And yeah, that's pretty much the J2M2 summed up. 3 kills. I've only used 70 rounds of ammo. The engine does overheat faster than the J2M3. That's one of the other things that I neglected to mention in the climb test. In the climb test, the J2M2's engine began to overheat after 3.5 minutes. The J2M3 was maybe 15 seconds longer. So weaping this engine will burn it out a little bit quicker. But as long as you back off your throttle a little bit, even going at 100% will be just fine. It's the WEP that does most of the damage. Come here, Mr. Buffalo. Poor guy. That thing has no business being in a match like this. That Hurricane that you saw off to the left, he and I would actually trade in a head-on. It was a pretty foolish mistake on my part. I should have used better judgment. It was a move of desperation more than anything, because our team had been pretty much wiped out at this point. And I was just trying to get a quick kill, but the Hurricane was a new version with the 420mm cannons, and that thing is very deadly with those 420mm cannons. Let's transition into another battle. Hopefully we can put together a battle where we don't die in a stupid head-on. Managed to climb all the way up here with another fellow J2M2. The fact that he's all the way up here with me leads me to believe that he's also got his upgrades. As you can see below me, we got the typical Tier 2 matchup. A lot of Hawks, early Spitfires. Really nothing in particular that's dangerous. There's a couple of Wellingtons, I believe, and a Dauntless. In all my J2M2 matches in realistic battles, all I fought were the American and British teams. I think it's because there aren't very many people flying Russia right now. There are always people playing American and Britain pretty heavily. However, Britain right now is very heavy because of everyone seeking those new aircraft that were added in the new patch. All those Fireflies and Seafires and what have you. Look at a couple of targets out here by the ocean. Got a P-39 and a Spitfire. I'm going to rattle their cages, see how they respond. I really expected these guys to dive by now. The Spitfire, he's turning very late. He doesn't have cannon, and he's dead. Poor guy. At P-39, he kind of booked it though, didn't he? He's diving. He doesn't want any part of the J2M2. You see the dive rate on this thing is quite good. It does compress just like the J2M3, and the rudder tends to lock up when you're making small adjustments. Oh, that was so close. And I can't quite get guns on target. So let him go through. You know what? I did my part. I got him low. This is one of those maps where I'm always looking around. I always want to know who's around me. Even if it's just a bomber, at least I know where the bomber is. Sometimes the bombers are the last people to die in the matches because they're just off kind of doing their own thing. Just flying around, attacking stuff, then head back to base. P-36 finally comes around. Miss horribly there, but I finish him off in the head-on. I'm not sure that thing even fired a shot. It's hardly fair though, you know, even if the guy had fired a shot, it still probably wouldn't have done a whole lot to me. The best situation for him would have been to light me on fire with some API rounds. Of course, here we're in a situation of which way to go. Do we go for the Typhoon or do we go for the other guy? Typhoon's right here. He's kind of low. Key 45 sucks and I die. Well, someone's a little pissed. Come on, Mr. Typhoon. Fly straight for me. Make it easy. Oh, don't. Why'd you have to go and do that? Now you have to make me work for this kill. Where'd you go? Oh, shit. Of course. You went right behind me. That's alright. I'll just use my speed and get away. There's no way that Typhoon's gonna catch me. Not when he's got two J2M2s on his ass. Yeah, he's got problems, and I'm not even one of them. Oh, a TBF and a P40. That Typhoon's gonna be going down here any minute now. Yeah, there he goes. Typhoon's down. Come here, Mr. P40. There's a Dauntless destroying tanks somewhere. What if this guy's hurting? Because he's flying awfully slow. Alright, dip down underneath me. That's a good move. Good move. However, you got problems. Yeah, another one bites the dust. J2M2s, man. They are just wreaking havoc right now in realistic battles, and for that matter, arcade. If you're not, you know, a big realistic battle fan, try arcade. Get your upgrades in arcade while you can, because it's only a matter of time before this thing gets up tiered. 3.3, it's definitely going to be 3.7 or 4.0 at least. And quite frankly, it wouldn't surprise me if it goes up to 4.3, which I believe is where the Key 84 Co is. I think it's got similar armament, similar flight performance. Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me if this gets up to a 4.3. I can't imagine it going above that though. Usually planes that are 4.7 or 5.0 have 420mm cannons, and since this only has 2, I think this would be a 4.3 at most. And here we go, the A20G finally pops up. I want to take this guy down because I want to see how easy this thing can take down an A20G. After all, this was a bomber interceptor. Just a matter of using the proper technique. And I'm not about to do the proper technique. I'm just interested in testing this out. Because I end up getting right behind this guy's ass, and this is not smart. Do not try this at home, folks. I slid in right behind him, and there was my flap, because who needs flaps? And right there, I nearly get shot up. And he's still firing away. Alright, we're gunner, man. Yeah, do not do this. Do not get right on his ass like this. That gunner's just going nuts. Back off. Approach from a different angle, because this isn't working. J2M2 does the same thing. I tried, he's on fire. like I said, don't try this at home, folks. So we'll try a different angle, and there we go. A20G down. Watch out for those gunners, man. Those things are seriously deadly. Now I'm down to 2 rounds of cannon, and there are, I believe, 2 guys left. Both of which are on a bomber. One's in a Wellington and one's in a Dauntless. Now I could probably take down a Wellington with 7.7s, but probably not the Dauntless, so I end up going back to repair and get some more ammunition. And we ended up getting both of them over at their base. The Wellington was on the ground, and the Dauntless was coming in for a landing. We took them both out pretty quickly. I got a kill assist on the Dauntless, and that was game. I got 3 kills and 1 assist on this game, and I'll fast forward it to the results so you can see it. Having flown the J2M2 for several matches in both arcade and realistic, I have to say this is a really good plane. If you like the J2M3, I think you'll like this one. Just not quite as powerful. Doesn't have quite the ammunition count or the 420s. But still, it's a very capable plane, and it will be up-tiered soon. So I recommend getting in this plane right away if you can get it. Get all those upgrades ASAP. Anyway, guys, I hope you all enjoyed. If you did, hit that thumbs up button. And of course, if you're new to the channel, please subscribe. Take care, guys.